in the second leg, and the managers. I think that's where it comes to. It's both top drawer managers, but I'd have to say that at the moment Guardiola, because of he's still there, still present, still current, and I think I like Ancelotti, I really do, but I just think he's almost like a manager who just sets them out and lets them go and play. I think Pep will have a plan for the second leg, and I think Man City will go through.
Look, at Arsenal right now, first half of the season, it was always, they've got the best defence in the league. All the numbers suggest best defence in the league, but what have they got in attack? Right now, in 2024, they're averaging 4.2 goals per game. They've won 5-0 twice and 6-0 twice, and they've beaten Liverpool 3-1 and beaten them quite handsomely. This is pretty scary stuff. If you're combining this level of defensive ethic and aptitude with now just free scoring Arsenal, honestly, a lot of the time with these title races, it's about not slipping up. It's about being that juggernaut, and it's about being a bit of a flat-track bully. Arsenal not only have the best defence in the league now, but they have that flat-track bully tendency in attack. I'm starting to believe they're going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, playing devil's advocate slightly, I would say you've got to look at the runner games that they've had over the last few weeks. Liverpool was an incredible performance, one of the standout performances of the season. But they played Crystal Palace when they still had Roy Hodgson in the kind of last few weeks of Hodgson's reign. West Ham, Burnley, Sheffield United and Newcastle, who were terrible in that game at the Emirates. And look, you can only beat what's in front of you, and they beat those teams handsomely. But it's not the hardest standard of opposition, those teams. They also lost to Porto pretty poorly in that runner game. So, as I say, playing devil's advocate, they're in incredible form, but they need to go and do it against Manchester City in a few weeks.
Yeah, you magnificent in the Premier League, and I think last night it was a couple of lapses in concentration, one bad pass, and then Sané was just magnificent. I think you've got to sometimes give the opposition credit, and I think Bayern deserve that. They come defensively, were very solid, and can we hit Arsenal on the counter-attack? And Bayern were very good at what they did. And I never ever thought this was going to be an easy game for Arsenal, as good as they've been in the Premier League. And I don't really put it down to concentration. And these things can happen in games, any moment in time in the season. So I think it was one of those things. And the penalty with Saliba, I mean, we can talk about the handball situation, all these little things play into it. And I just think on the night, it was a great game of football, but I think next week is going to be tough for Arsenal. I really, really do. I never ever thought it was easier. People say Man City and Arsenal, the only teams could win the Champions League. I never ever thought that. Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. Real Madrid, 14 times winners. I don't know how anyone could write that and even write them off going to Man City next week, as much as I think Man City will win. You can never write these teams off. These big football clubs, as bad as they are domestically, and 16 points behind Leverkusen, they've been way below par. Unacceptable, really, in the Bundesliga. But when it comes to this competition and the latter stages, they know how to turn the performances on.
Yeah. Just overpower Porto. And get into the last eight. I think they're the only team that can challenge Man City in this.